Hello, everybody. Do you want to know how to make the best salad? Do you want to know how to make 100 of the best salads? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Hey, y'all, welcome to Cookbooks with Virginia. My name is Virginia Willis. I'm a chef and cookbook author, and I love cookbooks. And so every Friday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's Cookbooks with Virginia. And nearly each and every week, I bring a different cookbook author and their book to you. You can ask questions directly from the author to get it straight from the source. You can win a copy. All right. You want to go to my Instagram page. Look for the copy, the cover of Salad 2. You're going to like Pascale's Kitchen. It's all right there, and you can enter to win a copy. And I'm super excited to have Pascale Beale on Cookbooks with Virginia today. Let's bring her in and say hey and talk about some salads.
Hi, Virginia.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm really well, thanks. How are you? Thanks for inviting me on your show. I'm thrilled to be here.
Oh, I'm so excited. And y'all, I mean, Pascale, this book is gorgeous.
Thank you.
Really beautiful. So y'all, this is the cover. It's packed with photographs. I mean, such beautiful photography, which is always backwards. It's so important. But before we dive into the book, will you please share a little bit of information and tell people who you are and what you do?
Well, you may gather that I am not from America. I'm half English and half French, and I came to work in the States for 1 year, many years ago now, and moved to California, and I've been here ever since. And I started a cooking school, a small cooking school in Santa Barbara, California, 22 years ago now.
Wow.
1999, I started the school. And the premise of the school was this, as if you were coming to dinner with me. So every class has a 3-course meal, and we cook together for a few hours and then sit down and eat together. And in 22 years, I've never repeated a menu.
Wow.
So that has fed my creative juices. And from that, I've been able to create all the recipes that have gone into all my books.
So I have to say, it's the English-French part of it, the sensibility of your food, from what I'm looking at these books, it's what I like the most about like refined cooking. It doesn't have to be complicated, just really good ingredients and beautiful technique. And that you have that in spades. I can't believe that you haven't repeated a menu in 22 years.
Well, I mean, there are certain dishes. So I like pot de crème, and so they sneak in every season. I'll make a new one. And there are other dishes that have sort of evolved over time. So I have done a spin on salads. I've done a spin on soups. But the combination of any menu, I've never repeated one in 22 years. It's been a lot of fun creating these things. I've met amazing people along the way. And that has been really one of my true sort of inspirations. And finding the farmer's market, that has been my inspiration.
Well, my gosh. Santa Barbara. I mean, you were in paradise, right?
I am in paradise. The farmer's market here is... chefs come from all over the world here, and they walk through the farmer's market and they go, how is this possible? You guys, this is not an enormous city, and yet you have an incredible farmer's market. And that really drives my inspiration. One of my favorite things to do is to walk through the market and say, oh, what's this? And what's new? What can I find? And that will get my creative juices going.
That's fantastic. Well, you certainly show a lot of creativity with your salads. Let's just talk about the cover. I have stared at this cover wanting this. It looks like you've got strips of asparagus and Belgian endive and basil. Oh my gosh, delicious, y'all. Look at that.
And the asparagus is all raw. Everything in that salad is raw. So it's a little finicky peeling asparagus, but you just need a vegetable peeler. It's nothing in the book is complicated. I don't like complicated food. I like food that is really
you have such good ingredients. I'm sorry.
Yeah, let the ingredients speak for themselves. So find what's best in season, and that's what you use.
That's it. That's it. And look, like y'all, look at this tomato. I mean, it's just really. So we've got some beautiful tomatoes right now. I got some tomatoes this week from my friend and farmer Charlotte. But so you have it all divided: beets and radishes, carrots, endive and fennel, figs. Oh my gosh, a woman after my own heart. You've got 6 big salads. I love you. Grains and rice, fava beans, haricot vert, and peas, lentils, mushrooms. So it's not just like a green salad. You've got
in fact, the first chapter is on green salads, and then everything is ingredient driven. So each chapter explores cooking with that ingredient, and that has been the theme of all of the books in this series.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's all, every chapter just looks at, okay, how do we delve into that ingredient? And I know that we, lots of people get CSAs and get farmers market boxes, and then you get a box and there's all this kale and you think, what do we do?
Right. No, that's great. I'm so excited about talking to you that I'm like ignoring all these comments. We've got these people watching and I'm like, oh my God. Yay. So Deidre's watching.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. And we've got, we got someone in Brandon, Florida. I used to, there's a cooking school down there. The book is beautiful. It is so pretty. I want to show this. I'm going to go, let's see. I can do solo layout. I'm going to hide you for just a second, Pascale.
No problem.
I want people to see this because
yes.
And I want you to talk about this because this, y'all, this is next level stuff. And bravo for you, right? Like, I just think that, so let's talk a little bit about this because this is a green salad is possibly one of the most simple things.
Yes.
But they can be terrible, right? It
can be terrible. And there are a few things that happen. So particularly if you've bought salad and it's got grain, it's a little dirty, which obviously it needs to be washed, and then it's not dried properly. So the kiss of death to a salad is wet lettuce leaves, because all of that water will then go into your salad dressing, your vinaigrette, and it tastes watery and it's soggy and it's not good. But
that technique.
Okay,
Tell them what you got.
All right, so this methodology, you can just about see it. Okay, I'm doing this backwards. So in the first one here, I make the salad dressing in the bottom of the bowl, the vinaigrette in the bottom of the bowl, whatever the vinaigrette is. Mm-hmm. And then I put the utensils over the vinaigrettes. And then I put the greens on top of the utensils so it's not sitting in the vinaigrette, the salad dressing, because what happens if you leave your vinaigrette in the dressing for too long? It gets soggy and everything gets wilted and it's just not very appetizing. And then when you're ready, you take the utensils out and then you can toss the salad.
I just love that. And I love it's the little attention to details, right? And it's nothing terribly difficult about it, but that little technique isn't, I know, Cynthia, you are going to die when you see this book. So it's like no sound. Honey, I don't know why there's no sound. I've got sound. Okay. So those little details just like that, I think are really like just an indication of a good cook. And then we've got simple vinaigrette, lemon vinaigrette, mustard vinaigrette, tomato vinaigrette. I can't wait to.
That's the next. So in the beginning of the book, it shows about the salad basics, and then this is a little layout.
I don't get all excited about things all that often like this, but my Lord, it really makes me feel so happy. A juice vinaigrette, like that's so nice.
Super light, and people, if people really want to not have too much oil or something in a vinaigrette, you can substitute that. Tomato juice is actually tomato juice and lemon juice together make an amazing vinaigrette. It's quite acidic, but it's wonderful. If you were doing something with any roasted vegetable and you put that in there, it just livens it up and it's brilliant. So.
Oh, I can't wait to try it. Like I said, I've got some tomatoes. So y'all head over to my Instagram page. You're going to look for the cover of this book. You're going to follow me. You're going to follow Pascale's Kitchen, and you can enter to win a copy of this book. So we got lots of folks on the line. Everyone's like in awe of it. But if anyone has any questions, please let me know, and let's see what we've got going on here. So I'm going to put this up. So I want everyone to make sure to go to Pascale's website and check that out. So let's talk a little bit about, let's keep on with the tomatoes, because tomatoes are in season.
Yes.
Tomatoes are, God's gift, right? Look at this heirloom tomato salad, y'all. Oh my gosh. I just want to roll around in that. What's your, let's talk about your tomato philosophy.
Well, okay, there is nothing worse than one of those winter tomatoes that is just, just eat tomatoes when they're ripe. Please find them at the farmer's market or because when you see those winter tomatoes that are, they're insipid and they have no taste and they just look.
I'm not sure that I understand how you feel.
Well, yeah, no, I'm teasing. Farmer's market. I mean, right now at the farmer's market here, it is tomato bonanza, and you get all those tiny little ones, and the green. So there are some recipes for green tomatoes, not unripe tomatoes, but it's actually a variety.
Right.
There's
green zebra is a nice one.
Green zebra tomatoes, and so anyway, those tomatoes. I'm looking down. Yeah, this recipe.
Nice. Yes. Everyone's going to be jealous. You and I are both looking through these books. Oh my goodness. Green tomato and toasted pepita salad. So green tomatoes, thinly sliced, olive oil, pumpkin seeds, chives, sea salt, pepper, olive oil, and balsamic vinegar. So beautiful, y'all. Look at that. So it's just really.
These are all things, I find the tomatoes at the market in the summer. Our growing season here obviously is different to other people. I have friends in Canada and in the northern states who call me and they say, just stop. We've really had enough. You're really annoying us with what you're putting up on Instagram or the things that you're showing. I said, hey, I'm cooking seasonally. Use what you've got in your garden or what's there. So this salad.
I know. Look at me. I have it open. Yeah, you and I are we're having a mind meld here over the tomatoes.
So that came about because of these enormous heirloom tomatoes. I mean, the one that's in the photo probably was about this big. It probably weighed 1.5 pounds, that tomato.
Oh my goodness. It looks like, was it a Cherokee purple? It looks a little bit like a Cherokee
purple. It has. I had an avocado and, I use what's there. That dish actually came about because I write for Edible magazine, so Edible Santa Barbara. I'm a columnist for them, and every year they have an Eat Local challenge. So the idea is that everybody in the community they encourage everybody to eat as locally as possible. And I do that anyway. So what I decided to do was to cook. I created a new salad every day. And that's how that salad came about. It was one. I was posting them every day during the month of October. So some of those salads, including this one, made it into this book. So I was shooting the salads every day and then posting them, and then the ones that I like the best made it into the book. So that's
so wonderful. I just love that. And the yellow tomato and purple basil salad. But so let's be practical for a second. There are farmers market everywhere, but I want to ask your opinion on this. So you have this yellow tomato salad. So if someone goes to the farmers market and they can't find any yellow tomatoes, a lot of times people really want to follow a recipe. Yes. You're a professional cook and I'm a professional cook. So we know, okay, yeah, you know what? We're going to mix it up. So what's your advice to people when they're following your recipes and they can't exactly find the right ingredient? What do you do with your students at your cooking school?
That's a great question. And I get asked that all the time. And the tomatoes, if you can't find a yellow one, then by all means use the tomatoes that are available, with one exception. I make a melon tomato soup, melon, tomato, and cucumber soup. And I use a honeydew melon and either green or yellow tomatoes. And if you put a red tomato in that soup, then it turns this weird color, and it still tastes good, but it's not very appetizing.
Right. And we eat with our eyes first. So
yes,
there you go.
Absolutely. So most of the time you can substitute things. I mean, if the tomatoes, find the best looking tomato. I mean, in that instance, and it's sort of be guided by what you can find that looks the freshest and the best. I mean, sometimes I go to the market and I think, oh, I'm going to make this, and I cannot find that ingredient. So I have to be a little bit more flexible and look for something else.
I know, it's so wonderful getting to shop like that. But I have to say, sometimes it's really easy to be over ambitious, right? Go to the farmer's market and it's like, oh my gosh, that's pretty. Oh my gosh, that's pretty. And then I get home and I've got a lot of food, right? I've got more than I can eat. I've got, my eyes are big.
Oh, I've done that so many times. So what do you do? Because I have a solution to that.
Well, I try to get it cooking, right? Like, even if I know that I won't be able to eat it immediately, just to maintain its freshness, what I try to do is to go ahead and cook it, and then I can eat on it through the week. But what do you do?
Well, okay, pre-pandemic. So our farmers markets, we have the two big ones are on. There's a farmers market here nearly every day of the week. Yeah. And
paradise. We live in paradise.
Which is amazing. And but the big ones are Tuesday and Saturday. And on Saturday, often I'll get back with baskets full of vegetables and things. And so I then invite people for dinner.
Nice.
On the spur of the moment. And often those are the best dinner parties. I call people, okay, I got too much food. I'm cooking up a storm. What do you want to come and sit on the terrace and we can eat? So during COVID, that's been difficult. And for a while, going to the farmer's market was, sort of run in and out. It didn't have the same experience, but things are getting it's getting better. Although, walking around with all our masks on has taken away some of the charm of stopping and having conversations with people and everything.
No, it's hard. I actually last summer, and I haven't been to a farmer's market this summer. I just, it's Georgia, we're less than 40% vaccinated. So it's pretty intense. Last summer, it was really sad for me, and I don't want to dwell on sadness, but I went to a farmer's market and everyone was distancing, and, the farmers were doing a really great job, but I almost had a panic attack because I hadn't been around that many people.
Right.
It was such a sad thing because the farmer's market is like Christmas morning, right? It's like, it is one of my great sources of joy. And to be at this farmer's market and to feel so scared really was just so sad, right?
Yeah, so, I agree with you. I had a similar reaction. Everyone here, I mean, you can't go to the farmer's market unless everyone's masked here. That was the requirement of all the farmer's markets here. So that gave me a degree of comfort.
Right.
I go super early, and at the beginning I was in and out. And in the last couple of months, it's been a little better. And we've got to the point where people were walking around without their masks on. But everyone is masked now.
Good. Well, we do have a question. Cynthia loves your library, and she wants to know, what are your influences in the vegetable world? So,
oh my God,
all those beautiful books that you have behind you.
Yes.
Or some of the people
I love cookbooks. I have a very large cookbook.
Yeah, you do.
So I'm completely surrounded by cookbooks. This is my inspiration here, and oh gosh, so many different things from different countries. I love Diana Henry, a food writer who's in England, Ottolenghi, and all the sort of Middle Eastern. My influence comes, if you drew a line around all the countries that circle the Mediterranean. So if you think of, you've got North African cooking and Middle Eastern cooking, and then sort of Lebanese, Turkish, and Greek, Italy, and France and Spain, if you encompass all of that, that's the food that I love. So my grandmother, you asked where I come from. My grandmother, my mum is French, my dad is English, and my French grandmother came from Rouen, which is and Lyon. She grew up in Normandy, the dairy capital of France. So she was very much a classic French cook.
Right.
And if you think of sort of the cuisine bourgeoise and just really, lots of butter and cream in my grandmother's cooking. My grandfather came from the Mediterranean. He came from Nice and Monaco. And olive oil. And I think my feet are firmly planted in the Mediterranean. I was taught to cook by my mother and my grandmother, so I had a bit of both. Mum definitely headed towards the Mediterranean, and my grandmother was, this is, butter.
That's so funny. It's like they had a mixed marriage, right?
Yeah. Yes, they did. They did.
One side and oil on the other.
Yeah. But because my grandfather never set foot in the kitchen, literally never set foot in the kitchen, the food in their household was absolutely classic French cooking.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. In fact, if you open up Julia Child's book, that's pretty much
yeah. Well, I think that's reflected. We're like, so y'all go to Instagram, check it out, my Instagram feed. See if you can see the cover of this book. You're going to follow me. You're going to follow Pascale's Kitchen, and you're going to enter to win a copy of this book. I think that is one of the things that I do like the most, I think, about Mediterranean food. And that is where my love of French cooking comes as well. Yeah. Like this salad, like it can be the easiest thing in the world, but it also can be like really complicated. And, when you're dealing with good ingredients, you're a step ahead. But then on the other hand, when you're dealing with so few ingredients, it's sort of easy to take a wrong turn, right? Like, so what you're saying about like having the salad properly dressed, just dressed enough, not overdressed, right? Like I find, once upon a time when I used to go out to restaurants more, I would order roast chicken and leave the foams and the specifications and all of that alone. If I want to know if a chef can cook, I'm going to order something. I'm going to order a green salad. I'm going to order like a roast chicken. I'm going to see, like, it's really easy to hide behind lots of bells and whistles, right?
Yeah. So this, you're talking about the simple green salad. So this salad,
what page are we on?
That's the first salad. It's on page 20. So this is the first salad I learned to make. My grandmother taught me to make that one. Yeah. And that salad was just, it's the easiest, simplest salad. And she used to add chives sometimes, and she had a pair of scissors that were only used for cutting chives and parsley. And she had on her shelf in the kitchen, there was a little hook, and the scissors lived there. Woe betide anybody who touched those scissors for any other reason than cutting those things.
That's so funny.
And so she taught me to make that when I was really little. And mum would sit me on the counter and we'd mix the vinaigrettes together. And so those were all the things that I learned from a very young age. Learning by doing in the kitchen with them.
It's so impactful, right? I remember that as well as a child. And here we are with these great lives, doing what we love because our grandmothers taught us your grandmother taught you how to make a salad when you were 3 years old. My grandmother taught me how to make biscuits when I was 3 years old.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I just think it's such a beautiful legacy. All right. So I could just keep chatting with you forever, but I think that are you going to show a salad?
I am. So I know that you like peaches. And a friend of mine yesterday called me up and said, my peach tree has gone bananas and I've got so many peaches. Would you like some? So I said, absolutely. So I made this for you.
Yeah. I wish I could have that for lunch so bad. I can't stand it.
Wait. How do I show this to you?
I can see it. There you go. Look at that. Okay. So tell us about it.
That is a peach and tomato salad. And which sounds like an odd combination, which actually, but I love peaches and tomatoes. They have some acidity in the tomatoes and the sweetness of the peaches, and they go really, really well together. And the first time I made this was years ago, and I had an unexpected guest for lunch.
I'm going to show some pictures while you're talking. You keep talking.
Okay. And I'm going to, this is, okay,
yeah. What page are you on? Yeah.
That's the salad. That's on page 194.
Oh my gosh.
So in the book, the version is grilled. The peaches are grilled, not the tomatoes, and which sort of caramelizes the sugar in the peaches, which adds this extra dimension to the peaches, which is great. But this is a simple salad, and it came about because of this unexpected guest. And I had this huge tomato on my counter and a peach from my tray. They were sitting next to each other, and they had the similar color. And I thought, I wonder what these will be like together. So I sliced them up, and then I had some basil in the garden, some herbs, and I had some goat cheese, and I put it together, and that was that salad. So ever since then, it's become this.
Well, you know that expression, I'm not certain who said it first, but it's something that I sort of live by, like what grows together goes together.
Yes.
I have a stone fruit salad that I make that is sort of the same thing. It's like slices of peach or plum, cherry, apricot with, cucumber and tomatoes, and it's just so fresh and so vibrant. All right. So I do have a question. We have a question about, can we enter without an Instagram account? So I'm afraid we don't have that. And I just wanted to sort of answer that question, but this might be a good opportunity to start an Instagram account. So there is that. But on that note, please let us know, so where can people purchase your book if they don't win or they are unable to enter?
Okay, so all the books except this one are pretty much available anywhere online. But Salad 2 is available in certain stores in California and is available on my website, which is the best way to get it.
Yeah.
And my website is www.pascalekitchen.com.
That's great.
On that website has tons of recipes and info and my articles, and I have a whole line of herbs and spices and oils and beautiful salad bowls and other things that are complimentary.
Oh, I know. I'm going to move out there and be your sous chef. I just am in love with your food and your aesthetic and the sensibilities and stuff like that. So I have a couple of questions that I ask everybody, and I would love to ask you. So I think that we've touched on some of it. Will you share with us one of your favorite food memories?
Oh gosh, a favorite food memory. Well, probably actually making jam with my grandmother.
Nice.
She taught me to make jam, and she had an amazing garden. They lived in the French Alps, very close to the Italian border. So we talk about seasons. So everything there was delayed. So here in California, you get apricots sometimes in late April, early May, which what?
Wow.
Yeah. And I mean, that's an early season, but normally in May. And she had, she's they're at altitude. So the apricots there were summer fruit. And so when we went on summer holidays, we would go and pick fruit in her garden. I picked cherries and plums and apricots, and she had groseilles, which we never have here, red currants. You can't get red currants here. And she made the red currant jam, and my favorite was apricot jam. And we lived in London, and they're in the French Alps. And this is long before the TGV, the high-speed trains or anything like that. So getting from London to their house was a trek.
Yeah.
She would give us a huge jar of this golden jam to take back to London. And we would treasure it, carefully hand carry it back, and then eke it out a little bit at a time to try and make it last as long as possible. So I love making jam. Every time I make apricot jam, I think of her. Really discover other food memories are just finding new markets and finding new foods, and as I travel around the place, that's really one of my best things. I just came back from Hawaii. I went to see my mum, hi mum, if you're watching.
Yay, hey mama.
And I finally got to see her after nearly 2 years of not seeing her because of COVID.
Right.
And so I got to go to farmers markets on Maui, which I'd never done before. And so that was a whole new experience, finding, discovering things.
No,
yeah.
my mom and I always go to farmers markets. I love to shop. That's part of my travel, right? So, okay. So we talked about who might inspire you book wise. What is someone that you like to check out online? Is there someone whose videos you watch, or is there a TV show? What is like a digital content sort of thing that inspires you?
So there's a British baker called Ed Kimber who has One Tin Bakes. So I really like him. And then in California, there's a cooking school where I've taught, which is lovely. And the owner is a woman called Clémence Gossett. And she has a school called the Gourmandise School. And she does fantastic informational videos.
Okay. All right, y'all, let's check it out. And that's exactly why I ask people, because I'm like, I want to learn like what's inspiring you.
Yeah, and it's her. And then I listen to things. I mean, I listen to Evan Kleinman, who I adore. And Diane Jacob also has a great about, the mechanics of food writing. And if you're a cookbook
huge Diane Jacob fan, and she has been on Cookbooks with Virginia. All right, so sour, salty, bitter, sweet, or savory? What's your go-to?
Savory.
Savory, yeah. That's the mommy.
Without a doubt. Yes, savory.
Savory, hands down. So, okay, one more. What is your favorite cooking tool? What's your desert island cooking tool? If you were going to go off to a desert island and you got to take one thing, what would it be?
Well, you'd be pretty lost without a knife.
There you go. But I have to tell you, I think that Jonathan said knife last week, and he was the first person. He was the first person that had used the term knife. I kept thinking everyone was going to say knife, because I'm like you, like, if I have a knife, I can do anything, right?
Yes. Right? I mean, without a knife, I mean, there are, I love my zester, I have to say. I love the
microplane. Yeah.
But without a knife, you'd be really stuck. So I think a knife would be one of my favorite tools.
Yeah, yes. Definitely. Okay, so
that would be great.
Yeah, no, I mean, you can do anything with a knife. Okay, so we've got all those cookbooks behind you. Yes. What was the last cookbook that you read or looked through other than your own, other than Salad 2?
Well, funny enough, I bought a book yesterday.
Who is it? Let me see.
It's called
Sticky Fingers. Oh, how fun is that?
Yeah. And so the title caught my thought. Oh, Sticky Fingers. What's this about? And it's by a woman called Hayley McKee, and she's in Australia. And she has unusual flavor conversations. Conversations. Actually, it is a flavor conversation.
It is. That's a great term.
Combinations is what I was trying to say.
Fun.
Yeah. So she has. Anyway, it looked parsnip, pear, and cinnamon cake, and a golden saffron pumpkin cake.
Oh, so yum! Inspiration.
So I'm intrigued, and then I often delve into Diana Henry's books. I love her books.
That's good. Oh my gosh, Pascale, I could just keep talking to you for just hours.
I mean, I'm obviously. This is my. There are a lot of cookbooks in here, and I just disappear in them. They're inspiration. I find all sorts of ideas, and then, get inspired by what I find here.
No, that's wonderful. Well, I want to thank you so much for having this conversation with me. I want to thank you.
My pleasure. It's
a beautiful book. So thank you so much for being a guest on this show today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, wasn't that lovely? I mean, first of all, the accent, her beautiful accent. I could listen to that tomato and basil and things like that. But far be it from me to make fun of anyone's accent. So lots of great stuff happening. Lots of great guests coming up. Texting with Erin McDonald this morning. She's going to be a guest. Carrie Bailey Morris from Callie's Biscuits is going to be a guest. Dory Dreenspan is going to be a guest. I got tons of great guests lined up for Cookbooks with Virginia, I want you to make sure to go to my Instagram feed to win a copy of Salad 2. You're going to follow me. You're going to follow Pascale's Kitchen. And the last thing I want to say is I've got live classes up on the Food Network Kitchen app. I'm working with them and I'm doing shows with them. So much fun. I really appreciate y'all watching today. I appreciate your support. Thank you so much, and bon appetit, y'all. Bye now.